Some time between learning of the Usti spy's escape and returning to the docks, my temper snapped. I knocked a lantern into a pile of refuse, glass cracking, oil spilling. My crew began to enact similar vandalisms with willful abandon, the invisible threads of my Magni power compelling their minds to vengeance and their hands to destruction. Naturally, there were attempts to stop us. A musket ball skimmed past my ear, loosed by one of the port's converging guards, so I turned my power upon them. As I strode out onto the sprawling docks, the guards, then civilians, took up our task with startled, frightened, and ravenous urgency. A little girl hurled rocks through windows, burning hay scattered about her small feet. Fishwives set fires, cart drivers knocked aside the poles of the market stalls, and labourers began to dump goods into the South Sea by crate and barrel and upended basket. The port mistress survived only by her honesty. "South," she said when I stood in her door, the streets a riot behind me. "The last ship was headed south." There was only one dock fit for a vessel as deep and grand as my Red Tempest, and it was to the end of this long, barnacle-crusted arm we strode as the fires spread. My influence followed me like the billows of smoke that drifted across the bay, wrapping about the other ships and prompting men and women to load cannons, swivel guns and small arms. Then they, as I willed, turned the lot of them upon the shore. The Red Tempest did not participate in the bombardment of Port Seine. We sailed out long before the port mistress's mansion toppled from its stilts and the battery at the harbour mouth exploded. I observed the chaos from Tempest's deck, listening to the thunder of the guns and watching the inhabitants of the port scatter like rats, leaping into the water, fleeing into the hills and putting themselves out in boats. The smoke trailed us out of the bay. I felt the sphere of my influence slip from the last of the anchored ships, and my world narrowed once more. The deck beneath my boots, blood on my hands, though I could not recall how it came to be there, hot breath raking from my lungs, the taste of sweat and smoke on my lips, the chanting, rolling, rumbling voice of my storm singer, summoning the winds that swept us away and prevented pursuit. "Benedict!" I turned, squinting smoke-burned eyes. Charles Grant considered me from a pace away, one restless hand on the hilt of his small sword. My attention caught on him like fingers on a crumbling slope. I corralled myself and straightened. "No need for that," I said, glancing back towards the port. Something stirred in me at the scene, a lightness that might have been excitement or shock or unease. I could ill define the sensation, but I was swiftly learning that reflection was arduous and uncomfortable, particularly with the stink of smoke and gunpowder in my nostrils. I pulled my baldric over my head, taking my sword and brace of spent pistols with it, and tossed it to Grant. He caught it, then coughed a protest as my soiled coat followed the weapons.